Catania is a beautiful city. There's everything you could want. You have the volcano, you have the sea really close by, and on top of which it's a university city, so there's a lot of young people. There's really wonderful nightlife. After I graduated in the summer of 2005, I decided to stay in Italy and to work as an English teacher. And I think that the experience in Sicily was absolutely fundamental to that. First of all, because I felt a lot more confident with my language. I felt a lot more comfortable that I knew how to move within the country, how to live. I felt like I understood the life, the culture, etc. And more importantly, though, the friendships that I made in Catania were incredibly important when I moved to Rome, because I was put in touch with people here. I felt like I already had a family when I arrived in Rome from the people I met in Sicily, and who still take care of me to this day.
In piazza Massimo a Catania una festa, facema a gara a cui più tardo ci arresta.
Sicily it was a much more rich experience for me. Whereas in Sicily, one feels in the middle of the Italian culture, and even if it's not the Tuscan culture, it's a part of Italy, and it's definitely enjoyable. And I felt that I really felt this time here was more enjoyable, more worth my time.
Nesce lo sole, cresce lo mare, a nostra terra china di bellezze, carabono core. Nesce lo sole.
And on top of which, the university, the monastery of the Benedectine, where the Faculty of Letters and Philosophy is, where the Sarah Lawrence students study is. And it's just a wonderful, peaceful place. You know, you have everything you need, the library, you can sit, you can study, you can be peaceful, meet people. It's perfect. The thing that made me the most nervous about coming to Sicily was the academic aspect, the idea of studying outside the campus. You know, in Florence it's very nice, it's very comfortable. You have your campus, you have your professors, they all speak English. There's a very solid support system. And I was nervous in Catania because it's a smaller program and because it's a much more intensive program, that I wouldn't be able, I don't know, to complete the classes and to obtain sort of the results that I wanted. But at the end, everything worked out perfectly, really. I had my tutors who I met with once a week, and we reviewed the reading, what we were talking about in class, everything like that. So when it came time to do my exams, which are very stressful, right? They're oral exams. It's very different from the Sarah Lawrence model of, right, the conference paper, very independent research. It is a little scary to be interrogated in another language, but I felt completely prepared, and I knew that I had studied and that I'd been helped in everything I needed by my tutors, by the people who were around me.
I think this is probably one of the most important things, is to be in the midst of Italians. In fact, I think it's better to be with Italians than anyone. What I'm saying with this is it's better to be in the midst of only Italians, and so this was perfect. This is the best way to learn Italian. Well, in my school we don't have the oral exams, so that was, except for language classes, so that was definitely different. I think it exercises a different part of the brain. You have to be able to explain yourself verbally, which is very important, whereas we study more the writing. And so I did like it. It forced you to study because you would feel very embarrassed if you didn't know what you're talking about. And it wasn't too much pressure. I didn't feel terrorized or anything like that, but it definitely was a new experience, and I thought it was interesting to see how Europeans do it. the perfect student who wants to come here is someone who really wants to learn the Italian. And one piece of advice that I could really give is to really put yourself in the middle of everything. Don't hold back, be courageous, and get out there and do stuff with Italians. Don't hang out with Americans. As cruel as that sounds, don't do anything with Americans. Go with the Italians and eat with them, drink with them, go out with them, go out in the country, go swimming, do everything with the Italians. You'll learn Italian very well, and you'll have a great time.
Vivo in mezzo alla gente, quindi penso la crisi occidente, allora volto lo sguardo ad oriente, mi si incrociano gli occhi e mi si intorbida la mente. Grido e sono cosciente, non rimpiango l'imperialismo invadente, poi c'è troppo capitalismo emergente e tra Oriente ed Occidente la mia scelta è indifferente.
Living in a family, having a room in the house of the Sicilian family was absolutely fundamental to my experience there. First of all, they were wonderful, they were really warm, and they were always very active in trying to involve me in their family life. You know, they took me to parties with them, they took me to the cinema, we always ate together, and they were wonderful. They were very, very welcoming. And also, I have to say that I think it's, I don't know, when Cristina first told me that I would be living in a family, I remember I was a little, I felt that had gone beyond that and that I wanted to live on my own. But at the end, I'm very happy I did live with a family because, first of all, I spoke much more Italian because I was always speaking to them, and I learned a lot of things about the culture, about life in Sicily, about their lives than I would have otherwise.
I really liked living in a family. It was really fun. We got to go to the relatives, eat at their house. We would go out with them. I would every so often go out with my brothers. I really liked it. It's definitely different. You get to taste the food. You don't have to make your own food, which would be a disaster in my case, so I really enjoyed it.
It wasn't any more difficult for me to understand the Sicilian people rather than people in Florence. I have to say, my friends, if they spoke dialect, they didn't speak dialect to me, clearly, because they knew I couldn't understand them. I have to say, language wasn't ever really a problem.
The language is never a problem to me. The language is only different. In Florence, they have their way of speaking, and also here it's a little bit different, but it was never really a problem. Most of the friends that I hang out with speak excellent Italian. In fact, some better than than quite a few Florentines. And so I've never found the language to be a problem. My friends, my acquaintances never spoke any type of dialect. Every so often they would use phrases that are catchphrases, but there was never anyone that actually spoke only dialect. Oh, I will definitely be back in Italy.